So you have decided that you want to have a meeting. You don't want to have an immediate meeting. You want to have a scheduled meeting. You've decided with your teammates or the stakeholders when you want to have this meeting. So this is going to be a scheduled meeting. I'll be showing you two ways to do that. One within Teams and the other within Outlook. Within Teams, you can either schedule it within your Teams channel, or you can do it on your calendar, directly on your calendar. So let's start with the Teams channel method. So you navigate into your Teams channel, just like we've done now. You go to this button that you see here that looks like a camera. Click on the drop down. You should see a schedule a meeting button. Click that. That should give you a meeting page. Okay, so you can see there's a lot of options here. So let's start with the meeting title. We'll call this a general meeting. Okay. And then the next thing you want to do is to add the attendees. Because we've scheduled this meeting within a Teams channel, you see it has already picked that. So it's the overseer's Teams workspace and the general channel. If I want to automatically invite everyone in this Teams channel, I would just need to check this option. You see, it says, let me click on this eye. So meeting invitation will be added to the personal calendar of all channel members. If I don't do this option, it will just be added to the calendar of this team and it will be sent as a chat. So I want it to be added to the personal calendar of all channel members. So I'm going to check this, right? So you see, you've chosen to invite all channel members. They will receive an invite on their personal calendar. That's what I want. I can then choose the date I want to have this meeting. Let's do Monday next week for when? 9:30, not 9. Let's give people time to have their morning coffee for 30 minutes only. Yeah, that looks good. So we've given the meeting a name. We've given the meeting a date and time. We don't want this meeting to be a repeating meeting. So, okay, so let's go through the options actually. So if you are trying to set a recurring meeting, so a meeting that happens recurringly, could be weekly, monthly, you can choose to do that with this option. So right now I'm saying does not repeat, but I can say every weekday, Monday to Friday, or I can say daily, I can say weekly, I can say monthly, I can say yearly, and I can set a custom date. I can add a location if I have a physical location that I want to use for this meeting. So sometimes the meeting might be online and also physical. So if I've got like a conference room that I want to also use for this meeting, I can type that in. So I'm just going to leave that there, conference room A. And the next option is to type the details of the meeting. Okay, good. And then I can use this option, the second option. So this is the details option. Then this is an option to add an agenda. If you want to add an agenda to your meeting, which I strongly suggest you always do, every meeting should have an agenda. You don't want to get people, you don't want to invite people to a meeting where they don't even know what they are coming to that meeting for, or what their contribution to the meeting should be, or what the value of them being in the meeting is. So you want to take your time to spell out the full details of the meeting even before the meeting. So it's good to always have an agenda for a meeting. And then you can use that of these options to create an agenda. So if you click on the agenda button, it would give you like a sort of like a template. So you can give the agenda a name to meeting notes. You can add extra agenda. So let's assume that we've got a client that's named Bata, whatever. So yeah, good. You can add extra agendas. You can add meeting notes. And within the meeting, once the meeting is started or before the meeting, you can start to add tasks for people. So if I add the task now, I can add task A and I can assign that to Gilbert. See, he automatically picks up the people from your organization. I can set a due date for maybe the 16th of May and leave it as a to-do on the to-do bucket. So you see, we've set the name of the meeting. We've invited everyone on the channel. We've also set conference room A as a physical location. Even though this is a Teams meeting, this is going to also be a Teams meeting. We've put the details of the meeting, say this is a general meeting. We've then also added an agenda. That's basically it for this section. So let's move on to the other options on the screen. So you can see response options. So this is the time zone, obviously. Response option. You can see request responses is checked, meaning that people need to respond to this meeting invite. If you don't need them to respond, you just want to send it to them and let them know that this meeting is holding, then you can uncheck this. Allow forwarding. This basically means that anyone that you've sent this meeting invite can also send it to other people, thereby inviting more people to your meeting. If you want to keep the meeting restricted or limited and you don't want people to forward the meeting or invite people that you haven't invited, then you can click on this and you can see that the allow forwarding option has been removed. But I want to allow forwarding, so I'm going to click that back to enable it. So that's it for that section. Let's move on to the section on the right, who can bypass the lobby. So the meeting lobby is basically the section where, or the area you stay before you're let into the meeting. So I can say people in my organization, trusted organization and guests, or you can say everyone. Okay, so this everyone option is actually the one to allow everyone to bypass the lobby. People in my organization and guests that I have already invited can bypass the lobby. People in my organization alone can bypass the lobby. People who were invited can bypass the lobby. So people that I have invited, just like you can see, if I put their name in there as required attendees or optional attendees, they can bypass the lobby. Only organizers and co-organizers can bypass the lobby. So depending on what you want. So if you say only the organizers and co-organizers can bypass the lobby, it means that every other person that's trying to join this meeting will get a notification saying the organizer will let you in. I don't know. I'm sure you would have joined some meetings where someone has had to let you in. You didn't just go into the meeting directly. So that's what it basically means. So you as an organizer, it's for you to decide if you want that task of actually admitting everyone in. So if you've got like a very big meeting, you might want to allow everyone come in automatically because it might be tedious to start to admit people individually in. So that's just things to consider. Let's look at more options within this, still talking about meetings. So, more options. So the first part is meeting access. So we've already discussed this one. People dialing in can bypass the lobby. So you can either turn that on or turn that off. Attendees with a registration link can bypass the lobby. So if you've had people register for this meeting, if they have the link or if they use the link, they can bypass the lobby. Who can admit from the lobby? So basically, so if you have a lobby that people are staying in, who should be able to admit people in this lobby? Should it be the organizers, co-organizers, and presenters only, or can it just be only the organizers and co-organizers? So you decide who can bypass the lobby. So do you want to announce when people dial in, join, or leave, or you just want to leave it silent? So basically, it's going to announce if you leave that on. It's going to announce if you leave it off. It's not going to announce. Require unverified participants to verify their info before joining in. Is that what you want, or is that not what? Or do you want to turn that off? So just options to consider. So roles. You can choose who the co-organizers would be, but because we haven't selected anybody there, it doesn't let us. So let's do this. We'll come back here. Let's discard this change. Let's add somebody in. So I just want to show you how this works. So let's add Yemi individually. So invited Yemi. So go back to more option. I can then, if I go to roles, I can then choose Yemi as one of my co-organizers because you can see that he's one of the people I've invited. So, who can present? I can say everyone, or I can say only people in the organization. So different options. So again, it doesn't really matter what you choose. So if you say only people in my organization and guests can present, or if you say only organizers and co-organizers can present at the start of a meeting, if for any reason within the meeting you then decide that you want someone to present, you can make them a presenter. So don't be worried about that too much. And also, you don't want to make everyone presenters in very, very big meetings, because that basically means that someone could be presenting something very important and another person could either mistakenly or purposely hijack the presentation and start to present something else. So you want to use the best options that fit your use case. So this is also other options that you want to select for this. Enable language interpretation. Is that something you want to do? Green room, just different options. And then there's this option for allow mic for attendees. Do you want to allow your attendees use their microphones? So if you're setting up some stuff like a webinar where just the presenters and the organizers are speaking, you don't really want any feedback in terms of audio, or you just want to stick with chat feedback. You don't want people to speak so they don't interrupt the speaker. Then you can turn off the mic for these people, for everyone aside the organizer. So all the attendees would not be able to use the mic. You can also do the same for their camera if you don't want to see people's faces. You can turn on Q&A. Basically is a question and answer section where people can ask questions and the organizers can reply or respond to those questions. So you can turn that on. I'm going to leave all the camera and the mic turned on too for this meeting. You can allow reactions. So reactions are kind of like emojis that people can use when in meetings. You can allow attendance report. So this basically tells you how many people attended your meeting. It's going to give you a report. You can automatically turn on recording and transcribing if you want. So immediately the meeting starts, it starts to record automatically. I usually leave this turned off and then manually start the recording if I need to. So Copilot and other AI, these are some Copilot config that I'm not going to be going into today. But yeah, so those are basically all the options. And one last thing I want to show you again is scheduling assistant. So let's assume that we've invited about 2 people. So let's invite Gilbert to this meeting. The purpose of scheduling assistant is that it helps you check the calendar of the people that you are inviting to a meeting for you to find the best time to schedule the meeting for. So I've invited Yemi and Gilbert. If I go into scheduling assistant, I can then, because obviously the meeting is for Monday, May 9:30 to 10. If Yemi and Gilbert had meetings by that time, you would have seen like a bar next to their name. So you would know that time would not work. But because we all have very free calendars, we're basically not doing anything at work on Monday. So that's why it's all clear. So I can easily just drag this bar and fit it in. If I then decide, okay, 9:30 to 10 doesn't work for all of us, I can drag this bar. I can move it to 10 o'clock to 10:30. So depending on when everyone is free, I can decide to drag the bar and use the best available time for everyone. And then once I've done that, and I'm sure that all my settings and configs are correct, I can then send this meeting out to everyone. So send that, and it comes in as a chat. The details for the meeting is added to it, and everyone in the Teams channel can see this meeting and can join it when the time is right. Remember, we checked that add to everyone's personal calendar, so they're also going to get emails, and they can add that to their, and they can accept or reject the meeting. So that's it for using Teams to create a meeting or schedule a meeting within a Teams channel. So let's look at scheduling meetings directly from calendar. So you don't have a Teams channel that has all the people you want in this meeting. You want to set up a meeting with people from just random different places, or maybe even external guests. So guest people or customers, you want to set meetings with a mixture of both people working within your organization and some clients and just random people from different places. You want to collaborate and you want to have that meeting together. You ideally want to do that directly from your calendar or from Outlook. So I'm going to show you the way to do it within your calendar in Teams. So I'm going to click on the more apps and I'm going to look for calendar. So this is calendar. I pop this calendar up and then I can see it shows me my calendar. From my calendar, I can see that the general meeting shows up on Monday, 9:30 to 10. So, okay, ignore that. So you've opened the calendar and you want to set up the meeting. All you have to do is also click this new meeting, type in the name of the meeting. Okay, you add the required attendance or attendees. So add EME again and add Banjo. See, was that Banjo and was that Gilbert. Great. So we've added 3 people to this. And you see, it's smart enough to know that these people are in different time zones. So with the scheduling assistant, you can use that to decide when it's convenient for everyone. So you see the good thing about this. So we want to have this meeting on Monday by 12. So you can see it tells you. So it tells you that, okay, Yemi and Gilbert already has a meeting by 9:30. So they are not available. So you need to do something outside of that time. So that's the good thing about scheduling assistance. You can use it to decide when people will be available and when they won't, when it's convenient for people to have meetings. So we want to have this one by 11:30 or 11 to 11:30. So we've decided that. We'll go back to details. We type in the details for this meeting too. Yeah, we can also add an agenda here. I'm gonna leave this here too. And yeah, you can do all those settings that you did there. But again, remember, this is directly from the calendar and we can send that directly to them. And yeah, they can have that meeting in their calendar. So that's how to set or to schedule meeting in Teams. So I've shown you how to do it within a Teams channel, and I've shown you how to do it directly from your calendar. Depending on what you want to do and how you want to do it, they both serve the same purpose. and which is scheduling a meeting.